Well, I've got some breaking news for you. Stock markets, according to a very well-known expert, is saying that this is pushing gold higher than what it would have been, for example. So I'm going to go into this more into this video today, and I hope everyone is doing well. So let's get straight into it. So now the stock market is going to the stock market crashing is going to send gold to 3,000 plus higher, and we are seeing this already. So we need to really look at how we can be prepared for gold and silver, by the way, as well. So I'm just going to tell you what the price of gold is at the moment. So gold is currently doing really well at $3,236, and that is on, as of now, for example, from Kitco website, for example. And I'm going to give you the silver price as well, because this truly is amazing. Although there was difficulty with the stock markets crashing due to the tariffs, etc., like I said, gold and silver is still going strong. And I know I seem to be going on and on about this, but I really want to show you as things are actually, talk to you as things are actually happening as well. So silver at the moment is $32.24, and it's going up. It's in green. It is going up. And let me just talk to you about what I've been listening to, for example, which I feel is going to really benefit us all, for example. So let's look at this. This video is inspired by Michael Oliver, the analyst. He really knows his stuff, and he has spoken about this on several occasions, not just once, twice. He's talked about it quite a lot. The stock market is pushing gold and silver up, for example. So be prepared. So the Federal Reserve they've just really come forward and said, look, the stock market is entering into the next phase down. And the analyst, Michael Oliver, he predicts that this will send gold to $3,000 and above, and also silver to $50. Now imagine you just brought a coin, for example. I know I keep bringing this coin out because I've got it here next to me, for example. So this coin, for example, cost me $30. Now this is a special edition coin. It's also got the logo. It's the Queen Elizabeth Australian dollar. So, and I've got the certificate as well to go with it, for example. Okay, so the value though is more than $30 because of how things are going up. And plus this is a limited edition as well, for example, because there's only 15,000 worldwide, for example. But what nobody's telling you is that most investors will miss this best opportunity because they are ignoring these 3 critical steps that he talks about. So I've worked for law firms, for example, as a paralegal. I've been a secretary. I've been a legal consultant under the supervision of lawyers, for example, and I've done conveyancing as well as wills, trust, estate planning, writing wills and trust, lasting power of attorneys, etc. And I used to see this quite often, for example. And that was in the UK, but also in America as well, in New York. So I have seen this happen before, like I said, and today I want to talk to you about you protecting your wealth, because it is important that you do that. And Michael Oliver talks about these 3 critical steps, for example. Okay, so he talks about the stocks versus the precious metals, for example. Now, we saw through the tariffs situation that the S&P 500 was crashing versus gold. Gold was holding its own. It was standing the test of time. It was like it was in that storm, but it was standing firm and strong, for example. Now, same with silver as well. Although it was, a bit low, for example, but it wasn't. It still was in a good place, for example. Now, commercial silver, right? It is used for purposes like, for example, electronic vehicles, solar panels, and things like that. So really, we're not really trained to see silver at the moment as what we do gold, for example. Silver is like the poor relative. But Michael Oliver, his track record, he highlighted this in 2008 and also 2020, he recalls as well. So in 2008, for example, there was the recession, for example, and I've been through 3 recessions in my lifetime, for example. And some of the clients I noticed were putting gold into trusts to survive the crash, for example, and they were unscathed, which was a really good thing. Whilst they were able to, stay in the stocks, they did lose some percentages overnight, and it's like history is repeating itself right now. And Michael Oliver talks about this a lot as well. So what can you do right now? What can all of us do right now? We've got this uncertainty that even though they haven't said there's a recession, it looks like a recession, it feels like a recession, but they haven't said it's a recession. But some analysis do believe that we are actually in the recession, like now, for example. So a lot of people are like, let's sell, let's get out of here and sell. And to look at selling your metals, for example, your precious metals right now, it depends what you're selling it for, and you need to seek professional financial advice, for example, because I'm not a financial advisor, first of all, and I'm just talking to you as a woman that has done these things, okay, with stocks, with gold and silver, for example, with how to protect wealth, for example. So he mentions about the ETFs safety. Now, I believe the best thing is to have gold and silver physically in your hands. Physically in your hands, or where you can get hold of it quickly if you need it, because some people are having to wait, like a month, 2 months. Some people have even had to wait 6 months to get gold and silver, for example. And really, you're in a situation that's not really practical for you to have to wait that long. So you really want to secure yourself and your family, your friends, for example, and have that close by, for example. Now, gold and silver allocation, for example. Okay, now the physical metals, right? You gotta look at how much physical gold and silver that you can actually afford. Now, I'm not saying that you are to run and get your money out of wherever it is and rush and spend everything on gold and silver. You got to seek financial advice, because I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just here to talk to you about generic things that are in the news, for example, and also giving my take, but also from the takes of the professionals as well, which is what I would also advise you to do if you are looking for financial advice, for example. So, do you have 40% gold and 60% silver? That is entirely up to you. Or do you do it the other way around? It's up to you. Some people are selling some of their gold to get silver because they're feeling, yes, the silver is going to finally win the race or soar, explode, for example. So you've got to think about what your leverage is going to be. With regards to gold being at $3,226, for example, that's a lot more per ounce than what it is for silver. 1 ounce is $32, for example. So what I would suggest is what it is that you can afford, that's what you get. For example, that's what you purchase. For example, don't go out there and pay for things on a credit card or get a loan out. Don't do those things. Well, I don't think that banks are lending anyway, for example. So think about this.